Hi, it's Lauren. Welcome back to my craft room. I have a Whimsy Stamps video to share with you today. Now today is a brand new Whimsy Stamps release day, so of course we have to use some of those new products in today's video. I'm going to be stamping my background using the brand new leaf frame rubber cling stamp and die combo. So this is a background rubber stamp that comes with a die that will cut out the inside of our image. Super excited that this is a combo you can get together. I've stamped my image in some Pinecone VersaFine Clair ink, and I'm using a clear embossing powder to cover my image. I'm going to warm up my heat gun and melt down all of that embossing powder because I'm going to be doing some watercoloring. I have these metallic watercolors, a little bowl of water, and just a paintbrush. I am putting a wash down on my background because I'm going to be doing some very messy watercoloring. I am not doing anything super detailed. I'm just going to put down ink and leave all the detail in those leaves. I'm just adding color to really make my background pop. But again, all of my detail will still be from this stamp. So I'm using some metallic colors in a red orange, yellow, and green, and I'll come back with that gold orange color as well. And I am just applying color and covering all of my image. I'm not worrying about staying in the lines. Again, super messy. I just want to have some color in my background. I am going to repeat it until I'm pretty happy with how the colors are looking. I am okay with blending because it's going to make kind of a brown color, and since I'm going for a fall card, brown is fine. I am adding more ink where I want my watercolors to be a little brighter, but this is a metallic watercolor, so it will dry back and it will be nice pastel and shimmery. Once I'm all done adding the color, I'm going to bring out a paper towel to soak up any excess water. I'm an impatient crafter and I don't want it to have to sit there and dry. I want to keep going. So I'm just using a paper towel to pick up that excess water, and I'm also going to use my heat gun to just help speed up that drying process. And once my paper is dry, I'm going to bring out my die cut. As you can see, it fits perfectly in the center to cut around those leaves, leaving you a little window. Here it is die cut out. And I'm going to bring out my paper trimmer and trim this down. This image is a little bit smaller than an A2 size card, so I will have a tiny border around my image on my card. So just keep that in mind when you're stamping. So here you can see there's that little border, so I thought I would bring out this metallic paper and I cut a rectangle to add that behind my leaf frame. And then I'm also going to bring out a sheet of the Autumn Hues 6x6 paper pack, and I trimmed that down as well to fit inside of that shimmery rose gold frame that I cut out. The reason why I cut it into a frame is because I don't like wasting specialty paper. So if the center of a piece of paper is not going to be shown, I trim it out so that way I don't waste any of my super special paper. So I'm gluing that down directly to a card base. My favorite card base is a top folding A2 card. And now I'm going to glue down the Autumn Hues part on the inside of that frame, which is nice that my background will be flush. And then I am going to bring out some foam adhesive to adhere down my leaf frame. So this is about 1/4 inch wide, and I'm just trimming it down to fit perfectly behind my frame. And I'm going to do all 4 sides, peel off that release paper, and then center it onto my card base. So we have that pretty shimmery border just outside my leaves and that beautiful autumn colors on the inside of my leaves from the paper pack. I have my stuff word die set here, and I die cut out all of my letters out of some craft paper, and I want to make the sentiment stuffed crew, like for Thanksgiving, you know you're going to overeat that turkey and that pumpkin pie, you're a part of the stuffed crew. And I wanted to add some texture to it, so I'm bringing out my vintage photo distress oxide, and I'm just going to distress on the bottom half of all of my sentiment pieces to create a bit of an ombre look. So I'm placing it onto my card, figuring out how I'm going to do a layout, and I like them with that redishy orange color behind, but there just wasn't going to be enough room for my little panda that I'm going to put later into my card. So once I moved the sentiment to be a little bit more on the frame, I missed having that pop of that redishy orange color behind it. So I die cut the same letters out of some redishy kind of orange rust colored cardstock, and now I'm going to glue my craft to that orange cutout, and I'm going to off center it so that way I get a bit of a drop shadow from that redishy orange rust colored cardstock. And now when I put my sentiment on, I feel like it pops up a lot more on the card and just really adds a little bit of an extra touch that I was looking for. So once I have the placement, I have stuffed on the top left corner and crew on the bottom. I'm going to use wet glue for anything that will be adhered to my leaf frame. So my capital S and my ED, as well as the C and W part of crew. For anything that is going to be adhering to my background, I'm going to use some foam tape that is the same thickness that I use to adhere down my leaf frame. And I'm just placing foam tape where I know it will make contact with the background. And I peeled off the release paper and went ahead and adhered everything down. So I'm going to repeat that same process with crew. The R and the E kind of touch the background where the C and the W touch the frame. So I'm going to add the foam tape to my letters that will be on the background and wet glue to the C and W where it will attach to the frame. And that way everything is nice and flush and we don't have anything that won't be stable. We have everything attached nicely to the card. I'm using a white gel pen and just adding some accents to my sentiment just to help really make it pop more. Now I wanted to incorporate a new pumpkin spice panda because this stamp set is just the cutest and I want to make a million cards with these adorable pandas. I'm using my Spectrum Noir Illustrator markers. These are an alcohol marker, and I'm going to color in my image. So my pumpkin, I'm using some orange colors. I'm going to use tan browns for the stem of my pumpkin, and I'm going to use green for the little leaves kind of popping out the top. If you also use Spectrum Noir Illustrator markers, or any Spectrum Noir markers, I do my best to leave the caps on the top, so if you would like to replicate my coloring, you can grab those numbers while watching this video. For my panda, I'm going to use my brown grays, and I'm going to start with really dark colors and then blend it out with a medium and light tone because I want my panda to look like he is black and white, but without having it a really black color. That way you can still see depth and dimension and texture on this cute little panda. So once I'm all done coloring him in, I'm going to grab my lightest of my brown grays and just add a little shadow to where there is white fur of my panda. And then I'm also going to grab out some different shades of peach for his tongue and cheeks, and then I will bring that white gel pen back out to add some highlights and accents to our cute little panda image. I want him to be in the center of my card, and I would like him to be popped up as well, so I'm going to use these foam circles and put them behind my panda, peel off all the release paper, and attach this little cutie to the center of the card. And of course, no card is complete without a little bit of bling, so I'm bringing out some pumpkin spice themed embellishments from my stash, and I'm going to use a jewel picker and pick out some fun sequins that I think match my card really well, and use wet glue to adhere those down in the corners. Here is a final look at this stuffed crew card using some brand new products that were released today from Whimsy. If you like this video, I hope you'll click that like button, and if you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and come back. You can use the links down below in my description to purchase anything you saw in today's video. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.